Okay.
World's
Um.
strongest creature.
So yeah, I'll start. So obviously, my premise is that Kaido is stronger than Akainu.
Yeah, mine's kind of stronger than Kaido.
Okay. Well, I'll start with my argument. Pretty simple. It's just the fact that within One Piece, the factors shown to influence your combat ability are Haki, Devil Fruits, and your physicals. And Kaido just has better physicals than Haki, and they both have a Devil Fruit, so it'd be more inductively likely to conclude that he's stronger because he has more factors going for him to assist him in combat prowess.
One, I want you to prove that.
Prove what
Uh,
exactly?
I want you to prove he has better hockey. One, prove he has better hockey.
Well, okay.
Two, yeah, one, prove he has better hockey. Two, prove that him having more of these favors makes him stronger, more likely, and then prove he has better physicals.
Okay, well, first off, the whole argument is just the fact that if he has if he has more factors going for him in terms of combat prowess, and it would just make it more likely to bet on him and to assume that he is stronger in a 1v1 scenario than Akainu.
Well, yeah, why?
Because again, like if he has more factors, right, that just makes it more likely that he's got more going for him in terms of rating.
No,
Like
no,
unless you can provide an actual of course another reason to assume that Akainu is stronger. If Akainu is just less things in his arsenal to allow him to in his combat ability, then he just doesn't have as much going for him.
Yeah, but that's not what you're saying. Like you're saying, since the Kainu's less or something equal in one category, which I don't think you can prove, but he's equal in one category.
Unless you provide a reason to not believe that, then it would
No, no. That's just presupposing your argument. There's no proof of
No,
that.
I'm not. No, okay, no. No. The fact that we don't have a scale for say, um, like the fact that we don't have a scale for say one category of hockey or the other, that's true. Unless you prove otherwise, that's true. Like we don't have it currently established in the debate.
Yeah, that's fine. So what you're okay. So what you're presupposing in your argument is that Kaido's is equal to Akainu's.
What?
You're presupposing that these things are equal.
No, I'm just saying that we don't know, like the quantification. For example, let's
I know.
Let's take something that we know they both have, right? Armament hockey, right? We don't obviously currently have any scale for who's got stronger armament between Kaido and Akainu, but for the sake of say hockey in general, because Kaido has more things to his hockey that allows him to help him combatively, right? Say Clock and Future Sight, then it would be more inductively likely that his hockey is more helpful in a combat scenario because we have no scale for the stuff that they do share, which is observation and armament, and instead we just have more factors that give more buffs to his hockey, to his combat ability.
Wait, I don't think that matters.
Why does that not matter?
Yeah, because just because they don't have a scale for it doesn't mean these two things are set equal. I want you to prove that.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that they are equal, but I'm saying, right?
Yeah, can you explain?
I'm saying because of the lack of knowledge that we have, Jiggly, right? It makes more sense inductively that with more factors that help him, that help him in combat. Because there's no as of right now in the debate, there's nothing to say for the stuff they do share hockey wise that is above or below, right? It would be equal interpretation either way to assert. So from the fact that we can introduce,
it's not even equal interpretation. It would just be fucking headcanon. I'm not gonna lie.
that's a problem. It would be equally likely that Kaido has better armament hockey, or that Akainu has better armament hockey. Same thing with observation. So instead, they if Kaido has more stuff that just Akainu doesn't have, then it gives more of a likelihood that overall his hockey is superior in terms of using it in a combative sense because the stuff they do share is equally unknown, but he has more to go for him. It just makes it better for a bet. It makes it better for a bet. Like again, if you had two people, right, same age, same amount of experience, but one fighter has some extra trait to their combat ability. You have two fighters, right?
No, because wait, listen, you're just assuming that for this to be true, you're just assuming that all these things are equal. which I still haven't granted. Like
I'm
I
not. I'm
don't.
not assuming that. I'm not assuming that.
Yeah,
I'm just.
wait,
I'm
wait.
no, no,
That
no,
has
no.
to be
All I'm
true. It
saying.
has to.
All I'm
No,
saying
no,
is that
no.
we don't. All I'm
That has to be
saying is that
true
we
for
don't.
your like likelihood to follow.
No, I'm just saying that
Because
it's equally likely for either or, meaning that we can't like assert Akainu's argument to be above Kaido's to rectify the fact that Kaido's abilities like Gekko and Future Sight that he doesn't have.
oh
You
wait,
know,
repeat that.
like again, my whole argument is that we can't assert it's equally likely that Kaido or Akainu can have better armament or observation than the other to the point that you can't use it as a point to assert that Akainu has better base hockey to assert over the fact that Kaido has other abilities like Gekko and Future Sight that Akainu doesn't have. If they both have the same base hockey, and Kaido has other stuff with his hockey, and the base hockey has no scale for one over the other, it's just more likely that Kaido's hockey is overall superior in a combat setting because we have nothing to exactly scale for their base hockey that they share, and instead he just has extra shit.
Okay, so you're saying that yeah, okay, that still like assumes that these characters have. This still assumes that these characters have fucking like they're still presupposing that Akainu and Kaido's hockey would be base hockey would be equal.
No, it just presupposes that for the context of the debate, we don't have any way to assert one over the other.
Yeah, that's fine. I, mean,
Yeah.
I don't even think that's necessarily true, but I still don't think that proves your argument.
Well, yeah, it would actually just make it more inductively likely to assume
Yeah,
Kaido
why?
over because again, like I'm not going to explain myself too much, but we can't assert the stuff that they do share. In terms of like this goes for all combat ability stuff, like Devil Fruits and hockey and stuff, but we can't assert the stuff that they do share to be above or below. So then, if he has extra shit, right, then it's just more likely because the chances that if they both just had like let's just say we're scaling their hockey, right, we know they both have arm and observation, there would be 50-50 with no other like evidence as to whose is better, right? But if you add in other stuff that Akainu doesn't have, then the chances, by whatever percent you really want to give it, the chances become more in Kaido's favor because he has more shit for his hockey that Akainu doesn't. That's just my whole
Okay.
point. My whole point just resolves around the fact that we can't scale the stuff that they do share. So it'd just be more likely that since they both share that stuff and Kaido has more to his hockey, that his hockey would be more beneficial in a common scenario. 50% equally with just their base hockey, but then the 50% goes higher because Kaido has more than just base hockey. Akainu don't. Simply put.
Okay, wait. Again, like I still think that's just in question.
What I just said is not.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think we can conclude. 'Cause I don't think.
Okay, we can conclude on this. Is basically okay. This point is basically just does my overall argument work for this kind of way to like scale? Gold, what do you think?
Guys are ready. Um, so honestly, I just kind of don't see like your argument working out here. Like maybe you can explain it to me, but like let me give you like an analogy, right? Are you just saying because like the two figures are kind of unscalable that it's okay to for someone to say, "Oh, yeah, Yamato's over like Akainu because Yamato just has like waken like Zoan fruit, more hockey, like stuff to her name. Is it like okay
Well, yeah,
for
like
like
okay,
someone to claim that?
basically, gold. Basically, the argument is really just because, like, assuming with nothing else obviously established in the debate that scale these two one over the other, with nothing else established, I'm just saying that we look over the stuff that influence combat ability, right? Say within hockey in particular, I isolated it for now. Within hockey, they both share arm and observation, but Kaido also used Conqueror's coding and future sight. Shotgun doesn't have. So because their armament observation is obviously unscalable, right? One over the other, it'd be a 50% chance to assume, based purely on that, who has better hockey, right? But then, because Kaido has extra variables that Akainu doesn't, his chances become more likely because he doesn't just share the same shit as Akainu. It's like if you had two fighters, right? And you give one, like, you don't know anything about their strength and speed, but then you give one, like, boxing gloves that have like spikes on it, right? It'd be more likely for you, who has no way of knowing how like strong and fast they are, to what is it? To assume that the one with the spiked gloves is gonna win because they have an extra factor in their favor. That's my argument, basically.
Wait,
Doesn't
I don't think this like matters.
Okay, I'm like, Gold. What do you think? Because I'm trying to.
doesn't that like argument inherently just like presuppose things about like the fight, like saying, "Oh yeah,
All it's
this
presupp-
factor."
all it's presupposing is that it's equally likely for the factors that they do share, in this case, arm and observation, to be like equally assertable over each other, which is true because we have no scale for their hockey types above or below each other. Like that part is true. I'm not presupposing that Jiggly said that they're equal, right? I'm saying
Mm,
that it's equally likely that Akainu's is over Kaido's
Actually,
or Kaido's is over Akainu.
like I think that. Mm,
do
it's
you have something to say?
let me think for them. Uh, I think Lucas yeah, I think that could be the case, right? But then okay, that can be true, yeah, but actually, sure. If he has I do agree that they do have equal likelihood in those stats, sure.
All right, so like, are you just like conceding to his point, or
No, so what I'm saying is, um, saying what is it that it's fine for this hockey bullshit that if Kaido has stronger hockey's more going for him, then he's probably stronger. Yeah. And not stronger, but stronger in hockey, sorry.
stronger in hockey? It
Yeah.
was kind of all right. So
But I don't grant the first bit with characters having better hockey and better devil fruits would mean they have better or equal. I don't really get it.
Wait, Jiggly? Because that's basically like the whole hockey shit is just a sub use of the same like argument for overall. My whole point, right, is that with when it comes to overall combat ability, there's physicals, devil fruit, and hockey, right? And when it comes to hockey in particular, right, we had the whole like armament observation and like the advanced shit, right? So right, with you agreeing that with Kaido having more going for him for hockey, right? Which would assume that he has like stronger hockey. If he has more factors leading toward him for combat ability, then he would be more likely to win in a 1v1 setting.
Okay, if he has more factors overall and better factors, sure, I can agree with that.
Like over like again, because this is just the argument presupposes there's no way to like scale Akainu's specific stats, right? Um, like Devil Fruit and Hockey and stuff like that. There's no way to scale that over Kaido's, right? So with that in mind,
I
and
don't think
obviously
that's
nothing's been
true. I don't think
established so
that's true.
well, obviously like you can give like a counter scale, right? Do that later. But for now, the whole argument I'm just trying to get you to agree to the argument, presupposing that there is no counter scale or no reason to give like one attribute of Akainu or
Okay,
Akainu's
yeah.
combinability as a whole.
Okay, under
wait. Just, isn't
Okay,
is
basically,
that
right?
wait?
If
Can I just like
there's
get
no if there's
hold on?
no
Let me just
scale, if there's no actual scale for Akainu over Kaido, or like specific factors for Akainu over Kaido, or just his overall combat ability, then it would be more likely that if Kaido has more combat factors going for him, that he'd be stronger.
doesn't that just kind of like assume that Kaido can always use those like combat factors, like
Well, no,
always
I'm just
has those combat
no, no,
factors?
no.
no, like I'm talking about combat factors. His hockey, his devil fruit, and his
No,
physicals.
I know, but like basically like in a fight, like is like observation hockey, for example, always going to be like a combat factor, like useful since we know
No, no,
about
we'll
his
get into that.
usage
We'll
of
get into that. We'll get
observation.
into that. We'll get into that. I'm fine with granting that bit of Lucas's thing.
All right, so do
Then
you
we'll
guys
move
want to
on.
just move on from this
Yeah,
point
let's move
then?
on.
Okay. So now we established that, right? And we established also that Kaido has more factors hockey wise going for him. So it'd just be more inductively likely that he has better
Yeah.
hockey, stronger
So okay.
hockey.
So yeah, why?
Because again, he just has more hockey factors. They both
Yeah,
share
why? Yeah, why?
they both share arm and observation, yet he has future sight and ACOG.
Okay. Prove Akainu doesn't have future sight. Prove he doesn't have ACOG.
Well, there's no statements or implications that he does, so you can't assert it.
I didn't assert it.
Yeah, my point is that we actually have provable evidence that he does have future sight and ACOG. You trying to assert it would not make you
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I said prove he doesn't have it.
I can't prove Akainu doesn't have it, but if you can't prove that he does, there'd be no reason to assert that as a hockey factor in his favor.
That's fine.
Okay. So yeah, basically you can assert that he has future sight or ACOG, meaning that he only has two provable hockey factors in his favor, base
That's
arm and
fine.
observation.
Can you
Wait,
okay?
just a question. Lucas, you're only assertive with like Akainu not having this, right?
What?
Yeah, he said
No,
Akainu
like,
didn't have it. He said he didn't have it.
Like basically, like you can't, like yeah, it's not like provable that Akainu doesn't
so
have it,
like
but
because it's not provable, you're asserting he doesn't have it, right?
or at least for the sake of this argument, it'd be because you can't assert either. Like Jiggly can't assert that he has it. It'd just be like you can't include it as a hockey factor because there's no proof that he does. I'm just basically asserting that there's no proof that he has
Yeah,
either of these.
yeah. No one contended that.
All right, I think yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, yeah. So you just obviously, I don't really need to prove that you like made the claim he doesn't have that, and then the other problem is like you're just presupposing that.
But my
Like,
argument doesn't actually. Okay, my argument does not need me to assert that he doesn't have it. It just needs me to. It just needs there to be no
dude, then it's
actual evidence. It does not mean there does not need to be any evidence that Kaido. I mean, it would be more likely for Akainu to have this, or provable evidence that he does have this, because otherwise you can't assert it.
I didn't assert it.
Yeah. Okay. So then you
Okay,
can't prove that
okay.
this would influence our decision.
Wait. Yes, it would because we can't take away these factors from Akainu if we don't approve of it. Like,
Yes, we okay, okay. So we know that both of them share base types of hockey, and Kaido has two advanced forms, right? If we don't know and we can't assert whether or not Akainu has those two advanced forms, then why would we, for the sake of like deciding who has stronger hockey, include that in? Why
I
would we
don't
do
think we.
that?
I just don't think we can decide who has better hockey if we don't have the full like
Well,
knowledge upon
based
their
based
capabilities.
on the factors that we know, it'd be more inductively likely to say Kaido because
Yeah.
we don't know that
Why?
for Akainu
Why? Okay, that's fine.
because he has more going for him.
That's fine. Yeah. Why? That literally inherently assumes
Because
that.
there's no proof that he has advanced forms.
Yeah. That's
If
an
you can't
argument.
prove that he
That's
has
an
advanced,
argument.
if you can't prove that that he has these advanced forms, then there's no reason to assert it. We would never ever agree or even think that he would have it because I'm now just dismiss it as easily as you can assert it. You can't dismiss
Dude, I didn't assert
the
it.
Kaido having it.
I didn't assert it.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So the point is that
Okay.
from what
Okay.
is wait. From what's established in this debate, Kaido has four hockey factors. Akainu only has two. Because again, you don't fucking assert it, so you can't say shit about that. Meaning that Kaido has more hockey factors, meaning it's more inductively likely that given he has more hockey going for him, that he would have stronger hockey. And you already agreed to the logic behind that earlier.
Wait. I agreed that if Kaido had more hockey types, that comparatively, or whatever, then yes, I would be able to grant, right? Then I would be able to grant he would have better hockey than Akainu. But right now, you're basically arguing that Akainu doesn't have these ability or these hockey types, and I'm telling you to prove that, and you're just like making a giant argument from ignorance.
I don't need to prove that. I don't need to prove that.
Yes, you literally made the claim. You do have to prove it.
I did not make the claim.
Yes, you did. You want to go back in the rec?
Well, because
No,
I said
no, Lucas,
Akainu doesn't
Lucas,
have
I
it. Yeah,
asked no, Lucas, I asked you
contextualization.
earlier.
Contextualization. Within the context of the debate, he does not have it because you've not asserted it, right? You've not
That's
actually
fine.
made like
Wait,
a prove.
wait. I
Wait,
No,
don't need
that's
that.
not no, Lucas, that's not what you said earlier. I asked you earlier, are you asserting Akainu doesn't have ACOG computer
I
site?
didn't
And
say
then you
that.
said that like, oh, for the purposes of your point, yes, I am asserting that he
Yeah,
doesn't have it.
because he does not like within this point. Jiggly's not obviously like offered the interpretation to make it more likely or anything that he does have that. So within the point, all we have to go off of is base arm observation for Akainu.
Wait, that's fine. You literally made the claim that he doesn't have these, so I'm asking you to prove it.
Within the contextualization of this debate, I made that claim. Yes, and you have not asserted it.
That's fine. That's not what you didn't say. You haven't proven it. You said he doesn't have those.
Yes, and I'm saying there's context to that.
Okay, even if that is true, like you still haven't proven he doesn't have that, which is what you claim.
Again, my argument again does not rely on proving that.
Yes, it does.
Because if you can't assert it, right, that's all that's established in this debate is 4 versus 2. And under the same logic that you agreed to earlier.
Wait, no, because I actually still don't grant this. I already listed my other contention. Even if this were to be the case, you still can't prove that the types of hockey that Kaido has are just better than Akainu's.
Yeah, again, my like if he has better armament than Akainu, yeah, I can't prove that, but that's fine. That's not what my argument relies on.
Okay, wait. Okay, one, can you just prove that like he doesn't have those hockey types before we get into the next bit?
Well, Akainu?
Yeah, can you just prove he doesn't have those hockey types?
Again, I'm not going to do that because I don't need to.
You made the claim he doesn't have it though.
I told you listen, we're going circular, bro. I told you the context behind that was for this debate.
Okay.
Like, unless you, if you can try to assert it, then sure, I will.
If you're saying within the context of this debate, Akainu doesn't, that's still something you have to prove.
But because did you win the point about proving that Akainu has future state or ACOG?
No, but I never claimed it.
Okay, so then within the context of this debate, we've not established Akainu having that. So
that's fine. That's fine, and I don't think we can prove or deny it. So I don't think there's a comparative point. I don't think we can make the argument for Kaido.
There is a comparative point because within this debate.
Okay. Lucas, where's the comparative point between Akainu's actual having this capability or not? Right. Somebody needs to be like have like
okay. You're basically
Lucas,
just saying it's equally likely that Akainu can like be better based on no actual like evidence or reasoning.
That's fine.
I'm giving more likelihood because we know that he has these stuff that Akainu doesn't.
Yeah, I'm negating your argument.
Lucas, okay, no, but you can't negate it that way.
Lucas, I'm trying to explain this to you. You literally cannot prove that, like, okay, right? What you're saying is, it's just like, oh, Akainu doesn't have these, or that's presupposing your argument, right? That Akainu doesn't have these, and like for that to be the case, right? You would either need to prove that, or yeah, you just need to prove that. And what I'm saying is, Akainu doesn't have scalable like anti-feats, right? It doesn't have scalable anti-feats in those categories or scalable feats in those categories, right? So there's no comparative point, so we can't make the argument for either side. So I think it's just inherently retarded, and you can't prove it.
It's not inherently retarded because again, if there's more like again, you agree to this logic that if there's more factors going for us, then but you're like the problem is
yes, I agree. If there are more provable factors, dude.
But you do understand that you would have to assert that Akainu has ACOG or future sight.
No,
otherwise,
I wouldn't.
It's my whole argument is based on what we inductively know. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, and what I'm from what we know, from what we directly know, Kaido can have more hockey types, but it doesn't scale Kaido's hockey above.
It does under my argument. Okay, so wait. You agree that? You agree? Wait. Let me finish. From what we can inductively assume, Kaido has more hockey factors, hockey types, whatever, that influences combat. Now, earlier, again, you agreed to the argument that having more factors would make it more likely, and that he just has stronger hockey, or that you just have stronger combat ability as well in general. But for the sake of hockey, he has stronger hockey.
No, wait, I didn't grant that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
No. Listen to me. Stop crashing out. Right?
I'm not crashing. You're crashing more than me.
You just screamed. What I granted.
That's a light exertion of erasing the
What I granted was that.
Here comes the yapper.
What I granted was that if they like 1-to-1, right? If Akainu has only armament and Kaido has armament and observation, then Kaido probably has better hockey. But if we go into factors Akainu has, Kaido doesn't, and then Kaido has and Akainu doesn't, right? Then then where's the problem, right? Like, then
What
we
do you
can't
mean?
scale it. Then I don't grant that this thing is true.
What do you mean exactly? So okay, so basically that's you saying that you agree for the point of hockey right now, right? Let's say for the point of hockey. If he has more hockey factors, then he likely has stronger hockey. Like, that's just you saying that, right?
Okay,
Now,
no. I think if he has more, what's it called? If he has the same hockeys and then superior in some aspects, I think he has superior hockey.
what do you mean superior in some?
Okay, well, I guess I can just say what I mean, so we can get into it anyway. It's just okay. I don't think you can prove. Well, okay. Well, if we're just gonna, I don't really think it matters because, like, if even if I were to grant this, like, you're arguing from like my argument would be the same as yours, just arguing from ignorance, and I think that's retarded. But like, you wouldn't be able to prove that Kaido has advanced armament hockey, which we have an argument for Akainu having, and then it's just gonna create a problem, right? Okay, Kaido's superior in this aspect, these two aspects, but why
Well,
are
we
these two
can.
aspects better than like
Okay, but the
Akainu's in
problem.
one? But like before we even get into that, I want you to like you're still presupposing that Akainu doesn't have these capabilities.
Okay, listen, buddy. The argument, yeah, obviously it does, because without there being anything established in the debate, it's just more inductively likely to assume that he does, right? Otherwise, if you don't like introduce any element, right, then by this logic we can't really
No,
have a
that's
debate.
not what I'm going over. That's not what I'm
By
going
this
over.
logic we can't have a debate. I could say like infinite possibilities with no evidence.
No, that's the claim you can't prove. But um,
No, because I'm making right an inductive argument based on the verifiable evidence we have.
okay,
Right? We
yeah,
obviously
and
don't
what
have
I'm saying
any.
is the verifiable evidence that we have doesn't suggest Akainu wouldn't have conquerors hockey or advanced conquerors, whatever you're
It
saying.
doesn't
Okay,
suggest that he does either. But we
that
do
doesn't
have.
okay that doesn't matter. Then there's no. What I said is again. I said I don't think you can prove something if there's no comparative point.
There is a comparative point because we don't have any verifiable evidence for Akainu having it. This is more likely that Kaido, with Akainu having less provable evidence, if Kaido has more provable evidence, right, for his haki than Akainu, it doesn't matter if Akainu could still have everything that Akainu has. It's just not as likely.
Yo, why? That's still That's the same thing. It's still presupposing.
Because you can't fucking. Oh my goodness, bro! Like you realize this defeats any argument you could
This is just
possibly
no.
make,
This is
right?
just one giant like argument from ignorance.
No, this is not an argument from ignorance. This is just arguing inductively with higher likelihood. Because again,
Asking why. I'm asking why.
because it's more. The problem is right that we have more verifiable evidence for Kaido's haki being stronger than having more stuff than Akainu. I don't care whether he could or could not. It is not as likely because there's not any actual evidence for it.
Yeah, and I'm asking why.
Because there's no evidence for it. What evidence have you
Why does that
given
make it?
that?
I don't need to give. Dude, you made the claim that he doesn't have these things.
I
Then I
did
have
not
to
make that
explain.
claim. I made it within the
Yes,
context of the debate.
okay, no, you said he
Wait,
doesn't have these.
prove why that me not like
I
Kaido
was
having
gonna say
more
this is the most
factors. Wait a minute,
retarded thing you ever heard
the
incoming. By
most
the way,
fucking dummy. This little
get
bitch.
ready, get ready. Everyone, cover your ears in the chat. You're about to hear the most
Bro, like,
retarded thing you've ever heard. I
cover your ears from
promise
fucking
you. I
Jiggly talking.
promise you.
Cover your ears from Jiggly talking.
All right,
This
just
guy
get
does
to the
not know what he's
point, guys. Just get to the point.
Okay, again. Kaido has more hockey factors. Thus, it's more likely that
Yeah, I
hockey.
told you to prove that.
I fucking did. Listen. How
Okay.
is it? Because no. Because by this logic, this is not a fucking argument from ignorance, bro. By this logic, any claim that you ever make about Akainu over Kaido, I can literally fucking assume that it's all wrong. Like I can make a million dumb interpretations for it. And
Because
no, don't listen to me. Listen to me.
because
Listen to me.
dude, listen.
Let's say,
That's this is so unrelated. White sentence incident, bro. Good chirp, Clovis. Good chirp.
Let's just say, wait. Let's just say, right? You have a statement or a feat that puts him over Akainu, right? I mean, over Kaido, right? I could just assume, well, what if Kaido was holding back, or what if that statement doesn't apply to him, or some bullshit like that,
Yeah,
right?
dude,
There's
and
no
then I would
way.
wait, and then I would give
There's
a
no
probability
basis.
argument. Then I would give a probability argument for
That's what I'm
him
giving right
having.
now.
Yeah, no, you're not. Wait, no. This is different. I would give a probability argument for. Fuck, I'm retarded. I'll give a probability argument for
Oh,
um. Just kidding, like Isaac. Fuck. Okay. Whatever. Um. Please quickly. Um. Give me a second after this one. Yeah. Or, okay. I would be giving a probability argument for why Kaido would or would not be stronger. I wouldn't be saying, "Oh, well, we can't prove he was holding back, so he wasn't." There's a difference.
And, like I'm giving a probability argument by giving like what we have. But the problem is you're just saying that it's like, equally likely that the shit that we don't know that Akainu has could be true. Which I could again like I could use the same argument
Yeah.
for any point that you
If
make.
we don't
It
have
would never allow any. It would never allow any point or debate to progress. It would literally would not.
wait,
Because anything you say of mine, right, that is just like more unlikely, would lead to points
yeah,
that it would lead to sub points that would make it less likely. But then you can't prove those points would even be factors. Because I'd put those under equal interpretation would be argument from ignorance on your side using the same logic. That's why like you can't argue like this because otherwise there's no actual progression. That's why it's more logically adhering to go for the evidence that we do have rather than just trying to assume from evidence that we don't have that things are more likely and equally likely than they really are.
yeah, and okay. Wait, yeah, why? Like, I really don't think you
Again,
can.
like I just told you, because otherwise the problem is that like things cannot progress.
I think we can include.
Like again, basically, like my thing does not even. I'll tell you this, right? It's for the context of what we can assume and what we can claim more likely, right? In the
Yeah,
context
okay,
of what we
from
know.
what?
Wait,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
done.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
done. I'm not done.
Dude. I
Just
already
gonna
explained
see
this. No,
fucking thing.
that's already contingent upon you like assuming that he can't. He
It
doesn't
doesn't
have
even
the
need.
properties.
It doesn't even need to assume. It doesn't even need to assume. Okay, it doesn't need to fucking assume that it's more likely to that he has that he doesn't have a like let's say Akinu, right? It is not. This argument does not assume that it's more likely that he doesn't have than he does have. It can be equally likely, but the problem is that it doesn't matter because if we can't verify that he does have it,
It's
then he
not
just has less
equally.
stones.
Wait, I don't grant that it's equally likely. I just don't think that's a comparative point. I still don't think it's provable or unprovable. That's my point.
Okay,
And
that
if
doesn't
somebody's not
matter. Why does that
okay,
even, wait? Why does
wait,
that matter?
dude,
Why does that
because
matter?
okay, if you can't make a comparative argument, then you can't scale.
Oh,
Do you know what scaling is? We're
wait,
comparing
no, no,
two people.
I'm still
We're
making the.
comparing two things.
You realize that just because we can't prove whether or not he does have ACOG doesn't mean that we can't prove assuming that he doesn't have ACOG. Because there's not, if it's not established,
What?
then it's easy. Wait, if it's not established,
What does that
then
even mean?
because the problem, yeah, the problem is right. Like I can literally fucking say that. Oh my goodness, I'm not even gonna say that because it sounds dumb. But this is what you're saying. The problem is that if we can't verify that he doesn't have ACOG, there's no reason to establish it within the debate to compare two characters. Like Kaido could have this magic fucking ability where if he looks at Akainu in the fucking eye, he just instantly becomes like a million times stronger and can fucking one shot him. That sounds retarded, doesn't it? But you can never verifiably say that.
That's ungrounded within One Piece 1 and 2.
No, you can't prove
It-
that.
yeah, it's that it's ungrounded. There's no grounding for that ever happening in
Where's the
One
ground?
Piece.
There's no grounding for
Yes,
by that sim.
characters have
How's
had
there
ACOG.
no?
That's grounding for this ability existing in One Piece.
Okay, but that doesn't mean just because we haven't seen someone with that ability that I just described, that doesn't mean that there's no grounding for it. Like you can't if you cannot prove that it's
That is what it.
impossible. Wait,
Dude,
if you cannot prove that it's impossible, then there would
I'm not
naturally
telling
be.
you to prove. I'm not telling you to prove it's impossible. I'm telling you to prove it's less likely. And you haven't done that, so I think we can conclude. Because
Oh
like we're
my
just going
goodness.
circular, and the shit's going like you're. I don't think you've proven anything at all.
You haven't proven anything at all, and you'll never prove
I
anything if you
haven't.
try to
I
like.
have. Yeah, I haven't proven anything at all because I'm not negation, and you wanted to
Okay, but
scale
you'll
for it.
never ever
Obviously, I
fucking
haven't
prove a
proven
point if
anything
you
at
try
all.
to
all
like.
right, let's just get it over with.
Okay, again, like I'm just saying, gold that without any
Let
verification,
Mongo judge. Let Mongo
no,
judge. Yes.
without
Yes.
any,
We are letting Mongo judge.
no,
I'm gay. I'm gay.
any reason to
What did Mongo
establish
say?
within the
That was
debate. Like
keys, man.
he's still agree. Like he's like Jiggly's still agreeing that he's. We can't obviously establish whether or not Akainu has fucking ACOG or future sight. So we're not going to use factors. We're not like for the debate for assuming who's stronger, what's more inductively likely that literally relies on evidence we do have at hand. There's no reason that he would assume that he does, even if he could. There's just no reason to do that. For a comparison, we have to go off shit that we know. Like we actually have on hand.
Yeah, and and what I'm saying is okay, and we don't know if Akainu has this. That's what I'm saying. If we don't know that Akainu,
We do know that there's no evidence for it. Whereas there's
that's
evidence
okay,
for
dude. That's just a giant argument from. This is just all tying back to
Yeah,
like.
no, but actually, no. Within the context of the debate, we do know that it doesn't happen. Because there's no argument for it. Within the context of the debate, within the context of like discussing and understanding who could be stronger, right? There is no.
That's
It has not been.
fine.
Wait a minute. There's not been any establishment that he has this. Meaning that we just have more to go off for Kaido than we have for Akainu.
We ain't tracking. We ain't tracking at this point.
I'm tracking. You're not.
No.
Understanding.
What I said is we don't have more for Kaido if there's no comparative point for Akainu. And you haven't proven anything I've asked you to.
We do have comparative because there's no
pretty pleased with like four. Pretty pleased with like
Okay,
14
guys,
cherries
guys,
on
We
top.
can prove that
stop,
Kaido has
stop,
ACOG. We
stop.
can't prove that Akainu doesn't. Meaning, then how does
No,
wait,
okay, but Lucas, the point, point with that is that if you were to take a stance on whether, oh, he does have it or doesn't, then you can't prove that without, like, committing a fallacy. That's, like, the point Jiggly's making. So, like, your argument, which inherently has you even said this earlier, 4 versus 2, which already kind of, like, assumes that kind of doesn't have this stuff. If you aren't able to prove it, then it just doesn't go through, you know?
within the
Like,
context of the debate, yeah, it is 4 versus 2 because he has not been able to assert him
yeah,
having.
but, like, he never asserted it. You
Wait,
said earlier.
let me start. Go on. I know he's not asserted it, but that's my point. We don't have like, is it equally likely that, at least for now, Akainu has future sight and ACOG? Then if he doesn't, yes. But that doesn't mean like at that point you can't assert that he does. Like this was a point. If he was arguing a point after because his argument, right, for this argument to not go through, it'd have to presuppose that we can like assume that he has his shit, right? But the problem is that if it's equally likely if he does or doesn't, then we cannot assert for the context of the debate that he has it at all. We can't assert that because it's equally likely that he does or he doesn't have future sight
Yeah,
or
but,
ACOG.
like, okay,
Keep that in mind.
okay,
Keep that in mind.
I get the concept of an equal interpretation, but the problem is you're on the assertion and he's on the negation. So, like, if you can't assert
I'm
your
asserting
side's more,
yeah,
okay, if
like
you
everything
can't
I
assert
asserted.
your side's more likely, then, like, you
Yeah,
know,
because
it never goes through.
because think about it, right? If it's
Why
okay,
is it more likely that Akainu doesn't have ACOG than does?
does not rely on that. It's just that it's more likely that Kaido's, if anything, because Kaido does have it 100%, right?
And he hasn't given
No,
the
no, no, no,
probability
no. I'm not
argument.
talking about Kaido. I'm talking about
Wait,
Akainu.
no,
Why
no,
is
but
it
wait,
more
look
likely
at how this connects. Look at how this connects. If there's a 50% chance, right, that Kaido could have, I mean, Akainu could have ACOG and this can influence that. There's a 100% chance for Kaido, then that just means that Kaido has more of an wait a minute. He has more of an assertion, meaning that for Conqueror's Haki at least, it would be more likely to assume that for the context of the debate, that Kaido would have stronger Conqueror's Haki, or that it would be a factor granting him over Akainu because he has 100% because we know he has it, but we only have a 50% assumption for Akainu because it's 50-50, no evidence for either side. It's just more likely for Kaido. And the same goes for anything.
Top 10 tracking errors, am I right, guys?
Because again, like the problem is that if we really like went on the shit,
Jiggly getting slammed.
we should if we really went on the shit, right? Because Jiggly's argument presupposes that just because it's equally likely for him to have ACOG or future sight, that we should consider it when like holding back from saying that Kaido has more points verifiably, right? But the problem is that I don't see the logic in that. He hasn't given a reason for why that would make like defeat the point that we have more verifiable evidence for Kaido, and from that it's just easier to make a claim for Kaido because we just don't know for Akainu. If we don't know,
Akainu
then
is
it's
top
harder
one.
to make claims for Akainu, meaning it's easier to just argue for Kaido. That's my point. That's why inductive reasoning works on verifiable evidence. It doesn't matter. Certain pieces of evidence are equally likely to be true for the other person.
You don't know what half these words mean.
I do.
Yeah, man. I asked you to prove that.
Conclude this fucking point. Holy shit, please.
Akainu is top
Gold
one.
has said to conclude like fucking 8
Akainu is
times.
top
Do
one.
it.
Dude, if you want to get this judged by someone else, we can. I don't really like afterwards. If you have a problem with it, we can just go past it and move on. Like, I don't want to go over this right now. Let's just progress.
Listen,
Let's
honestly, like my judgment is
as Mongo said, let's steal, man.
Steal, man.
Oh.
I would just say my personal judgment is that like I just tend to agree with like Jiggly's argument more, but like if you guys want to move on, that's fine.
Akainu is top
Wait,
one.
why do you agree with Jiggly's argument more?
He said it's all yap.
Akainu is top one.
Because like as much as you like danced around it, you still like for your point to be coherent, you still have to like, make that assertion, like which leads to the problem of not being able to prove it, which leads to
I'm
the
not trying to. Listen,
possibilities.
all I'm asserting.
Like,
Please, I'm not asserting that
yeah,
he doesn't have. Again, let's make this very clear.
oh no, it's fine. But you have to for it to be coherent.
No, because if we can't assert, then that Akainu has this stuff, but we can't assert for Kaido. Kaido just has some higher assertions. There's more points and more factors at that point that lead toward Kaido, which coincides with what we read earlier. That more factors is just going to make it more inductively likely to assume that Kaido, Kaido just would win in a 1v1 fight. Or Kaido would have stronger in this category, whatever context you want to use that argument.
Kaido is not.
Luke.
Akainu.
Wait. That matter. Why does him having better hockey matter?
Well, hockey's just one.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah, hockey's just one point.
I just think this whole topic's retarded, but I don't think Lucas proved his burden. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to like, the important shit.
Wait, gold. Did you understand what I said?
I get it, but like honestly, I still just don't think that addresses the main thing, But let's just move on.
This is pissing me off, bro. Who's arguing that Kaido beats Akainu?
Okay, listen.
Everyone is
Piss
BC is
reference.
arguing.
Niche piss reference.
Dog thinks he's me, bro. Niche. So, a little bit of Shogun's in here. That kind of upsets me. But, what was it? Yeah. So you want to move like on to like your scaling or mine or what?
Well,
I guess
my overall.
Yeah. Anyway, my second contention was just why does this like matter if Akainu has like certain hockey factors that Kaido doesn't, right? If we go under your logic, like these arguments of ignorance are valid, so if we can't prove that Kaido, because I don't really think you can argue for something if there's no like proof of it, right? Obviously, but like proof for it or against it, like, but let's just say this is true. Where's the evidence, Lucas, that
The dementia's kicking in.
Fuck, I almost died in my Minecraft world. That's why I had to lock in. Yeah. So yeah. Why does this hockey matter? Why does this hockey matter?
Again, these goals we already agreed. Okay, the reason why, assuming that he has higher assertions for his hockey, that it would matter is something we've already agreed to. I'm not gonna repeat myself with
That's
that.
not what I said. That's not what.
Yes, it is. You agreed to the whole idea. Gold. Let me ask Gold.
Tracking error.
Did he not agree to the idea that if you have higher assertions for, let's just say hockey, right?
No.
Wait, let me ask Gold.
I'm sorry for yelling earlier.
That's okay.
You're like 5 minutes away from getting muted.
Listen. Let me ask Gold. Gold. Did he not agree that with higher assertions on something such as hockey, it's more inductively likely to assume that thus it is stronger, or better, or whatever?
Top 10 things we agreed to. Am I right?
Let me ask him.
No, wait. What is your question? I'll tell you if I agree to it.
I don't care about your opinion because you're saying no already.
Well, I actually didn't go without listening because I thought it was retarded. But
Gold. Let me ask Gold. Gold.
let's make a livelihood argument. It's retarded, so I probably didn't agree to
Oh,
it.
shut
I
up.
didn't agree to it. It's retarded.
Gold.
Hmm?
Okay, I'm gonna ask you whether or not just recall if Jiggly agreed to this. That's what I thought we were agreeing to earlier on before we agreed.
No, no, no. What I agreed. No, what I agreed to. I literally specified it. Is that I didn't wait. You're
No, I
asking if I
think
agreed to the
no,
point. I didn't agree
no,
to that.
no. You did agree to one thing earlier. I think it was just like the point of like, oh, if someone has like more stuff in a certain category, then like that category would be better. I think it was along those lines, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
So then, how is that not translated? If Kaido has more assertions for hockey, if he has like again, like assuming the other argument was one in my favor, then how would that not translate to him just having stronger hockey?
No, do assertions just translate to like realizations? Are you just saying that?
Well, yeah, if there's more that we can give Kaido, if there's more we can argue for Kaido, then it would just be more likely that he has more going for him than Akainu. Because it'd be less provable for Akainu's case, meaning it would just be less likely. If there's
How
less,
is that not an argument from ignorance?
it's not an argument from ignorance, because it is we don't have as much for Akainu. I'm not trying to assert something we don't know.
Yes, dude. And what I'm saying. Oh my god. Just because we don't have that much evidence doesn't mean anything, dude. Lord have mercy.
Bro,
man.
again, like at this point, man, like when you get to your scaling, you're gonna see why this is not good to say. Because if I use the same
No,
metric.
no, because I've never, at least in the last like 6 months.
Well, obviously, I'm saying
Never have I ever made such a retarded argument that's like from
Yeah,
like an
obviously,
argument.
no,
All right, let's move on to this. Because look, I'm not gonna make a claim that's like contingent upon something stupid. Okay, let's just
Wait, Lucas, does Kaido have any? Wait, Troy, does the Kaido have any hentai feeds, or does he just have like a lack of showings?
Well, for my case, he just has a lack of showings in terms of
Then that's an argument from ignorance.
Yes,
bro.
well, I don't worry. We already went over this. Let's move on. Okay. What's the rest of your scale? Okay, so one, you're still gonna have to prove that like hockey matters as much as like those other categories. By the way, like devil fruit and
that.
devil
I
fruit.
don't need to assume that.
Yes, you. Whoa. At least if you, unless you, okay, never mind.
No,
We'll get into that defense, but yeah, you're gonna need to establish that properly eventually.
No.
Yes.
Because if he just has more contact factor training,
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're gonna have
I think
to
Jiggly
prove.
is speaking like qualitatively, I think.
You're gonna have to
Well,
prove.
hey, like if we just have like for any hockey, let's just say like all three types, right? Armament, observation, and conquerors. Uh, excuse me. The fact that I mean, anyways, like, that wouldn't even be a good argument for me. Well, we can get into why later, but anyways, are you saying that like, oh well, observation and armament and conquerors just have like different like?
No.
What
Well,
are you
yes,
saying exactly?
but yes, that's part of the argument. But I already said that. But what I'm gonna say is that what I'm saying is that this like hockey, these three. Oh, actually, I don't know if you ever said that. Actually, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. And if you try and claim later on, I'll just put in the question.
Okay, later. What do you? What else do you have?
All right. Just go on to your skin. The rest of your skin.
Okay, so with that in mind, what exactly? Well, I already established that scaling. What else do you have for like your contentions? And this is just one
Okay.
scale.
Well,
But
I was
for
just
this
saying.
scaling in particular.
Okay. Well, let's just assume like just move on past the hockey thing. Just move on to the rest.
Yeah, what other contentions do you have with it? I already
Okay, so yeah, so yeah, I want you to prove he has better physicals, and then I want you to prove that like devil fruits are same. It's the same. Actually, we don't even have to go with the devil fruit shit, 'cause I think it's literally the same situation. Anyway,
Yeah, so it's gonna be the same thing for the for the physicals though. Well, Kaido just has better feats with physicals, and
wait,
I mean I could actually give a like the other argument, but either way, he just has better feats with his physicals. So then, thus, what is it? If he has better feats with his physicals, then
why?
That's an outstanding claim.
okay. Well, for example, he survived the 30,000 feet fall just ahead.
Oh my lord, have mercy on me! Oh my god, please stop!
You little bitch!
Stop! That was such a retarded thing to say, bro. Oh my god!
This fucking cracker gonna tell me this.
Do we?
All right, I'll
He
stop.
survived.
No,
No,
you said that.
seriously. It's before
No,
Lukas.
no, not seriously. Please pick another point.
No.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
No, Jiggly. Listen to
Are
me.
you serious?
My bad.
Wait, I thought you were trolling.
So then how? Okay, no. Okay, this argument is like a new one. Not gonna lie, it's not like my really main argument. I'm trying to experiment and like figure it out. But I genuinely believe in it. So don't say I'm like.
What does
That's
that
what he's saying.
prove?
That's what he's
What does
saying.
that
Like before,
prove?
it's like hot ass. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
What does that prove?
Can you let me finish? Just one
Okay,
second.
okay.
If Kaido has a feat, right, of surviving a 30,000 foot fall undamaged, and Akainu has no feats to show off for his physicals, then it's more likely that Kaido just
Oh my god!
Lucas, can I kill you? Can I kill you, please?
One, bro. Lord, one. How does that translate to anything? Like, why does that translate over to Akainu? To
I already kind of explained that.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You should do another argument from ignorance, dude. And I'm not going over the argument from ignorance stuff. Two, how does that translate onto overall physicals?
We do overall physicals.
Like, yes, that only is what like a endurance feat. What like I don't even think that's I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even think that's an impressive
It's
feat
durability because it's
like
not like Kaido's like damaged physically after it.
yeah,
He just kind of complains out of pain.
Lucas. Unironically, I could probably scale. Actually, there's probably some durability showings for this dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like you could probably just calculate and say, okay, 10,000 feet at like acceleration, it's like fucking the force that would exert upon your body, and like that's probably like a fucking wall level calc because that's dog shit. But like, why does it scale above the kind of durability showings? And if just please, if you use another argument from ignorance, I just want to conclude overall.
It's not an argument from ignorance because I'm not arguing. I'm not trying to assert that Akainu doesn't have. Okay, listen. And this is the thing with the other thing too. I'm not making any argument from ignorance because that's when you assert something to be verifiably true just because we don't have showings. I'm not asserting that again. It is true.
Wait. Yes, you are. Wait.
Let me
Yes, you
finish.
did. No. Dude. You don't have to explicitly state it. It's embedded in your argument.
No, all that's embedded in my fucking argument.
What's embedded in your argument is that Akainu can't do this. That's literally embedded in your argument.
In front of this guy. So embedded in my argument is that we don't have any evidence for it. That's what is embedded. We don't have any reason to actually make the claim that Akainu has better physicals than Kaido. That is not an argument from ignorance. Because again, within the debate, we don't have that established. I'm not trying. Listen, Jiggly. I'm not trying to assert that just because we don't have evidence for Akainu, okay, just because we don't have evidence for Akainu's durability feats, right? Just because we don't have evidence for that, that does not definitively prove that Akainu has lower durability than Kaido. That would be an argument for ignorance. What I'm saying is that because we don't have durability feats and we don't have a scale, then it's just more likely that
That's the same. That's literally the same thing.
it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing because I'm not making a claim.
Yeah. No. Okay. What I said is what I said.
I'm not making a claim on his. I'm not making a claim on his durability. I'm making a claim on his durability.
Lucas. That's still embedded in your argument, okay? Look, yes, you didn't explicitly.
What's embedded in my argument, right, is that it literally could be 50-50 chance no matter what, right? And it still works because what's embedded in my argument is we don't have it to display. We don't have like a feat. You don't have a feat to argue with. That is true. So thus, I'm not making any argument from ignorance because I'm not actually trying to assert or in any way. It's not like it doesn't matter. Listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's equally as likely, right? That Akainu's physicals and if his physical durability can be just.
It's not, dude. Again. This is the same thing we did before. You're just making okay.
So let me better explain it.
All right. So like what we've established, or like what Lucas is trying to like establish, is that like Kaido has better physicals because of the 10,000 foot drop, right? Okay. So like, how does that translate to anything? I'm still trying to think about
Gold.
that.
Let me explain it, Gold. Jiggly, just let me talk for a minute. You can just say like a full explanation later. Gold. All I'm saying is that we don't have. Okay, so we have the Kaido feat, right? If we don't have any feats for Akainu, then it is just more likely that Kaido has better physicals since there's less that we have for Akainu. We don't have anything for Akainu to go over that.
Lucas,
if we have
You're wording this all fancy and shit, but this is still like at its core an
No, I
argument
just
from ignorance. And like, I'm not gonna
no,
lie.
no,
Like, again. No, look.
go.
Wait,
The
look. Let
argument.
me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let
Wait,
me
wait,
finish. Let
Jiggly,
me finish.
Jiggly,
Let me.
Jiggly, just let him finish for a second.
Jiggly. If I get on because an argument from ignorance is if I said Akainu doesn't have the same durability feats as Kaido, so or just weaker durability feats, no. So thus, Akainu has worse durability than Kaido. That is not my claim.
That's
Wait,
Okay, but like,
literally what you said. That's
no,
exactly what you said.
he didn't like say it, but like,
Okay,
but wait,
yes,
like
you
what
didn't.
he
Okay,
said,
yes,
like
Lucas,
to
Lucas,
explain it,
Lucas,
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 wait,
for
Lucas.
your
It doesn't
point
have
to
to
be
be.
let me
go.
explain. For your point to be coherent, you have to like implicitly like conclude that initially. If you don't conclude Kainu has no showings, therefore he doesn't have that same level of durability, your point just becomes okay, Kaido does this and then
Gold,
blank.
all
It's
that's
just like
implicit.
nothing.
No, I get that, but Gold, all that's implicit in my argument is that
That
there's
Akainu doesn't
more.
have the that Akainu doesn't have the capabilities to show it. Obviously, that's literally like you can use all these fancy words to get around it, but that's still inherently what's at like the fucking core of this. And yeah, I'm ready to conclude. And like genuinely, we can
Yeah, no,
like
that's
do
fine. That's
whatever.
fine. If we
No,
don't have any evidence for Akainu, why
no,
would
no,
we argue
no,
for
no.
Akainu? Why would we argue for Akainu over Kaido?
No,
Why
no,
would we do that? Why would we do that? Why
stop
would we
being
do that?
retarded.
Why would
Stop,
we
literally
argue?
stop being
Why would we
retarded.
argue
You're
for
acting. I
Akainu
know we
over
know this
Kaido?
Oshi
Wait,
scale. We know this Oshi scaling,
why
but
would we
Lucas
ever?
doesn't know how to
Why would
argue it.
it be more? Why would it be more
Because
likely? Why would it be more likely?
that's not okay. Listen, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't have proof that Kaido's above Akainu, and you're like
I don't need
struggling
definitive
to
proof.
prove that.
My whole point is that
Yes, you, yeah,
we have more likelihood because we have an actual scale and we don't have
You
yeah,
heard
anything
you
from
yeah.
heard it you heard it here first. He doesn't need proof that Kaido's
Like,
above Akainu. I
what
think he just conceded.
I did not concede because my argument is just based on a likelihood from what we can inductively conclude from the evidence I had. If we
yeah,
have
dude.
evidence for
Adding more fancy words doesn't make this like less okay. Whatever. Can we
No,
please?
I'm explaining it to him. Okay, listen. If we have evidence for Kaido, and we don't have any evidence for Akainu, that's it. That's literally okay, Jiggly. That's literally the equivalent. If I gave my scale for Kaido, let's just say I said like, oh, he can tank a punch from Luffy, and oh, he I don't know, react to one of Luffy's attacks, and you just didn't say anything for Akainu, and then you still said that the debate would be that by that logic, every debate would be inconclusive.
Dude, that's
Because if I give a scale for how
no,
strong one character,
no.
if I
No, I don't think
Lucas,
no, I don't think
dude,
let me
this
that's so
finish.
different. That's so falsely
Let me
analogous. Can we
finish.
please conclude? Working. I want to conclude.
Like I just okay, so you made no argument.
You're
Okay, I
no,
get it.
no, no. I'm gonna make an argument that we're done concluding your scale because I don't think your scale is like. Please move on to my
so
scale.
all right, so like you're concluding on like
Yeah, the reason why I just want to conclude on Lucas's scale is every point is literally the same thing. It's just an argument from ignorance worded fancily and saying
No,
that
it's not an
just
argument. He can never prove it's an argument from ignorance because I'm not
it's,
asserting that it is better. I'm just saying that
yes,
it's more likely.
dude, you don't have to assert to me for it to be like embedded in your argument. Like, dude, you
It's
like
not okay, but the
it
problem
can
is
be
what's
under.
embedded in
Okay,
my argument.
Words are like
Wait.
under context. Like,
All that's embedded in my
no,
argument is
Lucas,
that
Lucas,
all
let me
that's embedded.
explain, right? Let me explain, let me explain.
Please. Because Jiggly, he's not wording it right. What's embedded in my argument is that we don't have any verifiable evidence, so it's easier to just say because we actually have evidence for one character. It's easier to say that because we have nothing else to compare to the other fucking character. That is true because if he doesn't give a scale, that is true. That is not a definitive claim, but it's just a likelihood claim. That is fine because if he doesn't obviously give anything, then it's more likely on my side because he doesn't actually have any evidence. Doesn't actually prove anything. No, this isn't a definitive proof, but it just gives more on the table that with Kaido having better feats over Akainu, then we would assert, for the sake of progression, that he has better physicals or better whatever.
yeah, dude, that's not for the sake of progression. That's still an argument from ignorance.
It's not an argument for again. I'm not.
Yes, it is,
I'm
dude.
not
You wait. You can fancy it like I told you. You can like word it like that. I don't think that matters. Like,
No, because again, an argument from ignorance is for the sake of literally trying to like hardcore stomp on something. I'm not doing that. I'm not like denying. I'm not saying it's completely impossible. I'm just saying that it's more likely to assume this and then assume obviously to the overall conclusion Kaido over Akainu. That's what you do when you don't have any evidence for the other character that you would naturally because again like it goes into your scaling like but anyways
okay. All right, then I'll just give like a literal. Yeah, Akainu's just
you're
like
gonna give okay
Akainu's just like probably just like been hit once and just like survived. Yeah, Akainu's been hit once and
okay but can you
survived.
prove that's a better feat than
No, I don't
Kaido?
need to. You can't. Can you prove yours?
What do you mean?
See how retarded this is? Can you prove your feat is better, Lucas?
Actually, I can. Okay, tell me what
Okay.
Akainu's feet is. Actually, tell me.
Okay.
Wait, tell me.
Yeah.
Wait. Tell me if Akainu's feet even like is a physical feat and not just like a hockey feat.
That's a burden shift, Jiggly.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. No,
That
it's
is
not.
the
No, it's
burden
not. No, it's not. It's not because let me explain. Okay, yes, it is, but let me explain why the problem with it. I'm just explaining to him that what he's saying is retarded. Dude,
I
can we please
understand.
conclude? Like,
I mean,
I already
yeah, but
explained this argument. Wait, kids, you'll get raped on the kids. You can get raped on this in 5 minutes too. Like literally, like you can get literally fucking killed on this, and we can have like we can do like a poll on this too. Actually, I'm not even lying. This shit's going on the YouTube because it's like fucking embarrassing.
Yeah,
But,
well, yeah. And then when you get to your skills, it's gonna be so fucking funny.
yeah, okay. You want to go to my scaling? My scaling's really simple.
bro, Jiggly.
Do you want to like go? Do you want to? Okay. Do you want to like pause this my skilling for now? Because I even have like another point besides this, but I have a whole other thing.
Because I'm kind of getting pissed off at like just
okay.
how
I'm getting
retarded
pissed
this
off.
is and
Go
like
to your skill. Go to your skill.
you're not tracking. Okay, yeah. So Akainu is just like just gonna like likely be above Kizaru. Are you fine with that?
Why?
Yeah, it's just stated he has a higher combat ability. Also, just within the narrative, groups that are the higher ranking members of groups are just likely stronger.
We proved that he's stated to be stronger combat ability than Kizaru.
Yeah, sure. You know it's bad when they have to start going against their own takes. That's how you know you're winning.
No. Oh yeah, it's bad because you're going against your own logic, bro.
Bro, Jiggly, I agree with you, but you can't crash out on me for calling out the burden shift.
No, it's just being retarded. I know it's a burden shift, but I wasn't actually like being serious. I wasn't trying to.
I feel like
I said the statement in chat.
I don't agree with Lucas's argument, but that was a burden shift.
Okay, so there's a couple things. First off, Kizaru might just not want to be a fleet admiral, so I don't see why this statement can apply to him.
One that's compatible with my that doesn't attack what I sent.
Why?
Because he thinks can be true at the same time. Kizaru doesn't have to want to be a fleet admiral. He can still.
Okay, sure, but that assumes that the statement is like referring to people just based on their rank and not like.
No.
Wait, just a second, Lucas. Your first point was like Kizaru doesn't want to be fleet admiral, right?
Yeah, so I'm saying like the statement would have to apply to him because he could be like at fleet admiral level and not like bound by like.
Could you elaborate on that?
He's saying that since Kizaru doesn't want the position, the statement doesn't apply to him. I'm like, I don't see why
is it like
matters.
stated that Kizaru doesn't want it, or are you just like assuming that?
Well, I'm just saying that like he can't prove that like, Kizaru wants to be a admiral, like a fleet admiral.
He doesn't have to.
Otherwise, it'd be an argument from ignorance. To say
No, Lucas. I'm not saying that Kizaru doesn't want to be the fleet admiral. The statement, the statement literally just says the higher the rank, the more this is true. Like this doesn't have to be because you want the rank or not. It's just if you have this rank, it's like the case. Like it's saying look, Lucas. It's saying if you have this rank, right, you're stronger. That's what the statement
but under what context you have the rank? Like people.
Okay, I don't think that matters.
Why does that not matter? Prove that doesn't matter.
Yeah, dude. Because statement, like, oh shit, that's you. Because the statement just says the statement's an if then, right?
What?
The statement's an if then.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're the higher, or this is just an if then. If you are at the higher rank, the more you possess higher combat ability, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Akainu fits those qualities. He has a higher rank, and he has a higher combat power.
Okay, well, obviously he has a higher rank. I can agree to that. But
wait. Then you can see because you really concede.
No, I don't concede. Because you can't prove that being a higher rank is in context to actually earning that rank. There could be context.
Doesn't matter. Wait, the statement is just saying.
The problem.
That can be no. I know you're saying since Kizaru didn't want the position, the statement doesn't matter. But okay, that's basically.
I understand your point, right? Let me like wrap on this. I understand that he still verifiably has the higher rank, right? Either way, whether or not Kizaru wants to. But the problem is the statement isn't like necessarily saying that just be like if you have verifiably the higher rank that you are that you have like higher all this shit. What it could be saying, right, is that the higher the rank in context to what rank you deserve, rather than what rank you like actually have. Because again, like for example, Garp would deserve like an admiral rank, but he doesn't want it. He's like an outlier, right?
Why?
At least in his prime. At least in his
Wait, that
prime. I'm
doesn't.
not
That doesn't.
gonna. But wait a
Wait.
minute. Wait a minute.
One. We don't know who the admirals were back in the day. Well, we know Sengoku was one. Like
Okay,
those.
yeah, but my
Okay.
point
Okay.
is
Okay.
my point
Okay.
is wait, my point it is I'm not trying to like scale
Okay.
prime guard
But
for
no, no, no.
any
But
fucking
that
back.
exactly what I'm saying is that's like that's irrelevant. Like yes, people cannot want the position, but that doesn't mean the statement doesn't apply to them. The statement's not like Kizaru doesn't like. Okay, the statement just says like you're basically adding these extra elements that it could be referring to.
I'm not adding
That
any extra elements.
yes, you are. Okay, the element you're adding is that it could refer to like if they want the rank or like how they got the rank. But the statement literally just says the higher the rank, this is true.
Yeah, but
Okay,
like in
it's
what
not
context
correlating.
in
Yeah,
what context is the rank higher?
in the fact they have it. What do you mean in what context?
Like, okay, because again, as I said, like you can get a rank from like you can be a higher rank and earn that rank, or be a higher rank, or be like a certain rank and not be like within the power of like the power
So are
touch of
you like trying to claim that like Akainu was like given that rank or
no, but
No,
like
no, no.
Akainu, yeah, Akainu could be like given that rank even though Kizaru's stronger because Kizaru doesn't actually like try to get that rank.
Yeah.
And, like
Okay. That. Yeah.
he could be in a higher rank in a technical sense, but he's not be like a higher rank
Okay.
in a literal sense.
Yeah, he is a higher rank because he has the higher rank. I can send the extended statement. The statement literally just says the higher rank, um, the higher ranks are just like admiral, fleet admiral, vice admiral, whatever.
I know that Kizaru's an
Okay,
admiral and
okay. So Akainu is a higher rank. So since he's a higher rank, he possesses more combat ability and more charisma. That's what the statement says.
okay, but if you're gonna assume right that this is in context to like literal, why would you assume that this is in context to literal rank over earned rank?
Yeah, because that's the simplest explanation. That's what the
How's
statement
it the
says.
simplest
Yeah,
explanation?
because it's not adding extra elements to the statement.
How's it? No, you're adding the element that is
Because
just literal. I'm
no,
trying to add the like. Okay, no,
yeah,
we're not adding.
no,
We're
dude.
both
Okay,
adding
wait,
something to
wait,
it.
wait.
You need to, as
A
well,
literal. Wait, no,
when
listen to me. A
when you have
literal.
a
No,
statement,
no.
wait,
Listen,
Jiggly,
listen,
Jiggly.
Lucas,
When you have a
Lucas, listen to
statement,
me.
when you have a
Lucas, listen to
statement,
me.
right?
Lucas,
Wait,
listen
wait,
to me.
Jiggly,
Lucas,
wait,
listen to
wait,
me.
Jiggly.
A literal interpretation over a statement is more likely because one, it's more. Okay, wait, I'm gonna pull out a mythical. I'm gonna pull out. There's a mythical Mongo poll. Okay. Well, actually, yeah. Well, one under prima facie, but also two. What's it called? There's a mythical poll. I don't want to use it. Yeah, actually, no, not yet, not yet. Not yet. Wait, but um, what I'm saying is you can't like a statement at face value, right? Its literal explanation is the most simple. Like that's
How's it
just
the
like a.
literal? Wait, how's it the literal explanation though?
You literally said my stance was the literal explanation. You said that. You
No, I
said
didn't.
my stance was yes,
Probably backtrack.
bro. Yes, you did. We can literally go back in the rec 3 minutes. You said that
Well,
like
let's
2 minutes
ask
ago.
Gold. Gold, did I say that?
Gold. He did say that my stance was the literal. If you don't think that, we can go
He
back in
said
the rec. I
this.
can show you. Yeah, I can get everyone in
he
in
said your
fucking
stance was what?
literal. He said that about my
Oh
stance.
yeah, like the distinction between like literal
Yeah,
like given and like earned,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. He said my stance or my thing was an assumption that it was literal. I can
Okay.
quote
Okay,
the
that's
rest.
fine, that's fine.
Everyone in chat is saying it too, dude.
Okay, fine. Then okay. Yeah, how about this? How about this?
Okay, so
We can
you just
agree.
so you just
Wait. We can agree Akainu over Kizaru.
okay,
I don't want.
okay,
So go on for Kizaru over
good.
Akainu.
And then Kizaru just scales the Gear 5 Luffy.
Can you prove that?
Yeah, 1 second. Clovis. I'm gonna use the Clovis argument, so this better work out.
Watch Lucas pull out the Luffy isn't using ACOG argument.
No, you'll see what I'll do. I'll do literally fucking anything because this guy is.
Okay, so look, I'm getting off Minecraft for this. That's how you know it's serious. It's serial. Um, so yeah, Kizaru just shown to where is it? That 1 feet. Where do I have it? Maybe here? No. Where is this? Ooh, this is niche. I don't have this. 1 second, I need to find it. Okay. So Luffy's just reacting to him blocking Kizaru. Or it's the other way around, sorry. Kizaru's
He proved Luffy was going all out there.
Yeah, he just like says like, oh, let me see that statement. But does anyone have that? Well, I might not. Well, there's
You
two
mean when he
statements.
said, "I always go all out for everything"?
No, well, there's that. There's that. There's this statement. I think I send this in VC scan just because.
Bro, this is a meme, bro. Oh, wait, that's not you.
No. There's this one statement. Let me get it quickly. I know where it's from. It's from Saba Odi. He's fighting.
Even when Luffy says, "I know you're strong, so I'll go all out."
Yeah. There's also just this statement in VC scans.
You can say it's a meme, but it's actually what happened in the story. So,
All right.
With all their might. I think this could be in context of the fact that they obviously don't. That they could be like, okay, they could have all their might within them, so they're not weakened in any way, but that doesn't prove that they're using it.
It says they charge
Are you
forward.
retarded?
Yeah, what?
Okay. Think about it like this, right? If I'm not wait, the jiggly. If I'm obviously unweakened, then I have all my might, right? To use, but that doesn't have any correlation to if I'm actually using it in a battle.
Dude, it says width. Width is like a
Yeah, they charge forward like they're going into battle.
Yes, and they're
Obviously,
width. You know what width means?
No, they're not doing it. Okay, wait, yeah, because they have it. That doesn't prove they're using it. Having and using are two different things.
Dude, width. Oh my god, I can't believe we have to go to the definition of width. Accompanied by or possessing, okay? They're accompanied, they're charging forward, accompanied by their
basically
width, right?
Yeah, like I'm not
alongside. They're charging forward alongside their full strength.
I'm not denying that Luffy has access to his full power. I'm saying, did he use it though?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Because that's what width means. He's charging forward.
No, that means
all
he's
of
possessing.
Dude. Okay. No. Yes. Okay.
Charging forward to go. Okay. Wait. So he's going into the fight having possession of his full power.
There's
right?
no way we're ratting on the there's no way we're ratting on the meaning of width. This is actually so like fucking retarded. Okay.
I'm only doing it, but anyways, I'm not even gonna talk about that right now. But the point is that for him to be like, yeah, he can have possession of of his full power as he's charging forward, which means like going into the fight. But does not mean that he's attacking using his full power or attacking with his full power. That's different. Like going into a fight, having access to your full power, which is what with means, which is to be accompanied by or possessing, is not the same thing as using it. That just proves that he wasn't like weakened. Sure, I can agree to that.
Okay.
He wasn't like weakened going into the fight.
Okay, wait. Let's just go over within context why it's probably just going to be that, because what you're saying, I think is really
Looking
bad,
at definitions, you kind of have to argue about what you say, but I'm not going to say anything.
Okay, so they charge forward with all their might to confront. Okay, they're using all their might to confront. Right, that's going to be like a likelihood increaser for it, referring to like some sort of combative scenario they're engaging in.
No, that wouldn't really be a likelihood because I don't think they're connecting. So let me explain.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, what?
Wait. Please let me explain. Basically, to the what was I gonna say? To confront the power, like that could be in relation to the charge forward, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be in relation to the all their might. I don't see why there'd be any likelihood increaser to them saying that they're trying to connect that they're confronting the powerful foes with all their might. And even if you wanted to say that it's more likely that that's the case, and they're not just saying that they're charging forward to confront the powerful foes, and those are the two that are connecting, because otherwise the sentence with all their might to confront powerful foes wouldn't really make that much sense. But even if you wanted to say that, they can obviously confront Kizaru. Like again, that would just repeat the same argument. Luffy's confronting Kizaru with having access to all his full power if he so chooses to use it. That doesn't mean the same thing as I'm actually using it in the fight. You understand?
Yeah. Okay. And what I'm saying is the fact that it's being like applicable within. Okay. Actually, you know what? That's fine. We can move on to the next scan.
The next. What do you mean? Like the next part of your scaling?
No, the next scan.
What, like to prove that he's going all out?
Yes, he just said I'll go off and start you're strong.
Yeah, it's referring to Kuma.
That's okay. What? Why does that matter?
Oh, you mean like how he sees Kizaru strong, so that
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing here, right, is that like how strong exactly?
Dude,
Like he knows
it doesn't
he
that
knows
doesn't that
that.
doesn't matter. Wait, that doesn't matter. He just says what Luffy qualifies as strong. Um, what Luffy qualifies as strong means he'll go out. He says, okay, since you're strong,
Okay,
right?
at the same time, no, he's not like necessarily saying that just because Kuma's strong, that's why
Yeah,
he's going to.
you know what's so weird?
Yeah, like it's a factor going into
Hey,
that, but
Lucas, I'll just say this. I'll just say this. Like, I don't think there's a qualifier in here. He just says strong, and then Luffy also says strong later.
yeah, okay, no, no. But the problem is that there could be different. Like, okay, that doesn't mean that this is the only qualifier. First off, right? Like, there could be different contexts of the fights that makes Luffy want to go. Like, wait. There could be different contexts of the fight that makes Luffy want to go all out on Kuma with him being strong. But there could be a different context of the Kizaru fight that doesn't make him go all
Okay,
out, despite Kizaru
okay.
also being strong.
Yeah,
Like
that's
this.
fine. That's fine, but that's just gonna be like basically headcanon with like unjustified like headcanon, right?
Okay,
What
but if
I'm
you're gonna,
saying,
if because your argument's gonna entail, right, that the context besides them both being strong is the same for him to want to go all in almost like in both scenarios, which is just an argument from ignorance.
that's not an argument from ignorance, assuming that they're both. I'm not assuming anything. I'm just saying Luffy has this thing where it's if you're strong, then I will go all out, and he qualifies
Can you,
Kizaru as
wait,
strong.
what? Can you prove that?
Yeah, Luffy says, "I know you're strong, so I will do this." Okay, Kizaru
Okay,
is
but that could,
strong, so he will
wait,
do this.
that could still be like referring to the context. Like obviously the context is that Kuma's fighting him about to like steal all his crew. So under this like specific context, right, in Saba Odi, the qualifier of him being strong is also what pushes him to go all out. That doesn't inherently mean that only him being strong is the only qualifier for him going all out in that fight. You understand?
Wait, that's okay. Yes, that's fine. There could be, right? That could be the case, but that is no probability towards it. That's just like these like
Okay, but
basically
the
just
problem is
headcanon.
if there's no probability to increase or decrease it, then it would just be an argument from ignorance to try and push your argument to
No,
assume under your
no,
definition
no,
of
no, 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 Lucas, no,
I
no,
would not.
because there can be other factors, right? That could be the case. Okay, there could be these other factors pushing that. Um, but they're just assumptions about these characters that have no weight. Okay. These assumptions
So
are like
just
completely unfounded, okay? And what I countered with your scale, okay, there's a difference. Your scale, I said we have no comparative point, okay? Luffy correlates him going all out because they're strong, okay? Not for other reasons, okay? He correlates that to be the sole reason. That's the sole reason that he says. He says, I know you're strong, so he knows Kizaru is strong. So
yeah, okay, but
even if there are other factors, that's not what Luffy said.
I agree with that.
Okay, so Luffy is saying if X, then Y, and then Kizaru is X, so then Y.
But no, he's just saying under the context of Z, he's saying if X then Y.
Okay, wait. The context is just that you're strong. Dude, we can conclude this is like a
No, but
really
you already
failed
okay,
attempt.
basically you already conceded that there are different factors that could be at play, right?
Yeah,
Meaning that
no, Lucas, there could be, but they have no probability towards them. And even if this was the case, that's not what Luffy said.
okay, well yeah, he obviously didn't perfectly say that doesn't matter, doesn't really fit my argument. But either
Okay,
way,
well, I'm giving a probability argument here. Okay, from Luffy's dialogue.
how does
There's a
Luffy's dialogue imply how does Luffy's dialogue imply that no other factors are in play?
because he's saying since you're strong, that's the
Yeah,
highlighted
okay,
reason he's okay.
that could
Okay, the
be
high
that
no,
could
listen,
be
Lucas. The highlighted reason he's going all out is because they're strong.
yeah, that can be like,
Okay,
if you want to say that's the
okay. So
argue, which
Lucas, I'm
hey,
not done. Lucas, I'm not done.
okay,
So
okay,
since
go.
Kizaru, okay, honestly, we can just conclude because like, Jane, like, why are you like? I have probability for my argument. You
No,
don't.
you didn't. No, I'm doing this.
Yeah,
This is the fucking thing.
yeah. It's no, it's not.
Let me explain.
Lucas. If you didn't have
Explain.
if you didn't have tier 64 tracking, you would probably understand. But
No, you have like
um,
your fucking 69, bro. Guys. But the point is that
Right.
you're gonna say you're trying to
No,
make your fucking
Lucas, can I chime in for a second? So I understand what you're trying to do. You tried to do it earlier with like the whole like a kind of just looks at Kaido and like gets like 1 million times stronger thing, where you're trying to say that, oh yeah, there's this possibility, and since there like aren't any increasers for it, it's like an equal interpretation. However, like what Jiggly said back then, which like there isn't like a precedent for it, like that precedent still like applies like here. Like you still kind of
Yeah,
need like
please,
a precedent like or
wait,
basis to like make
you
these
can never wait,
possibilities.
Gold. There's no reason to say that that doesn't have any precedent over anything that he's saying, like Akainu having advanced Haku shit. There's no, you'll never be able to make an argument for that. That's
Because
a
I never
problem.
made wait, Lucas, I never made an argument. I didn't say, I just said there's no anti-feel. Okay, I said for Akainu there's no comparative point. You're just saying, oh, this could be true, but you're adding
No, no, no,
There's
no.
no comparative
Lucas,
point to
Lucas,
say that.
Lucas, Lucas. There is a precedent for people having like advanced conquerors or like advanced hockey, which puts it like over your original
Alright,
point of like a kind of looking at someone and like getting a million times stronger.
There's a precedent for anything.
No, there
no,
isn't. There
there's
isn't.
not.
There genuinely isn't. There's a
Yes, there
narrative
is.
framework.
Okay, listen, Gold. Oh my fucking god. There's a precedent for anything. It's fucking fiction, bro. They
There
can
is
literally
not a precedent for anything because the author makes rules within fiction.
yeah,
And
but you
like,
can never prove
okay,
where
so
you
let's okay,
can
let's
never
no,
prove
let's
that you can
take
never
your
prove
point. No,
where
let's take your point to its logical conclusion, right? There is no there's like precedent for anything in fiction because it's fiction, anything can happen, right? Okay. Luffy without Luffy, Luffy's a bad example because he has like the whole rubberization thing. Okay, Zoro without hockey just cuts into light, right? The rules of like the Logia fruit being like intangible without using hockey, they all go away. The rules of hockey, the rules of devil fruits, the rules of the ocean, they all go away because there's no precedent. We have a clear precedent for these sorts of things. Fiction has rules that guard things around them. You can't just say fiction is fiction, so it doesn't have rules. Fiction has rules,
I'm not
like how
saying
real life has rules.
I'm not saying okay. The problem is what if there's a possibility that doesn't inherently violate any of those rules? Then what? Why would they? Okay, just like how you're gonna argue, right? That because it's possible for people to have conquerors, right? That Akainu having conquerors hockey and thus ACOG would be a precedent, right? Because it doesn't violate any of the pre-established rules. But neither was even what I said, as ridiculous as it was. It doesn't violate any of the pre-established rules. Because
So
nothing.
like you think like a kind of just randomly getting like a million times stronger doesn't violate like any rules of the power
Kaido,
system
but yeah, it
or
doesn't
Kaido,
necessarily.
No,
like
yeah,
whatever.
dude, from the pre-established, no, it doesn't violate any rules necessarily, but it doesn't have precedent within the pre-existing like framework of the narrative, Lucas.
It's
Uh,
like it's
I
like
don't see.
saying
Okay,
that like
what is the like precedent
Dude,
for
why are you like so retarded on shit like this? It's like genuinely a pain in the ass. Like you're coping about this so bad. You're rat. No, you're wait. You use two
You're
arguments from
writing.
ignorance. No. You ratted on the meaning of the word with, and so we can get
But
all of chat to agree
you're
on that.
writing on how to interpret like a likelihood. You're literally just you're trying to fucking spam the idea of an argument from ignorance, which is the dumbest thing
No,
ever.
that's because you said you literally made the most non sequitur shit ever. Everyone in the VC was here. Okay, let me explain what you said. You said Kaido dropped 10,000 feet, so he has better physical stats than Akainu. That's literally what you said.
I said it's more likely
That's what
because
you said. Yeah, you didn't prove that. You never proved your inductively likely argument because you can't prove that because you don't know how to argue for that. You don't know
I
how logic works. You don't know how inductive
know
cases
how
work.
logic
You
works.
do. Okay. Explain to me what
Okay,
an
so
inductive case is. Explain to me what an inductive case is, and then explain to me what a deductive case is.
it's used it's effectively it's using stuff that we have at hand to make a conclusion.
Yeah. Okay. Elaborate.
So, for example, if we're trying to answer a question, right? Like in this case, and the stuff at hand would be, let's just say, the feats, right?
It is
If
retarded. I don't really care about this, but just saying it's inductive when it's an argument from ignorance doesn't change the fact that
no,
it's an argument
it's
from
saying
ignorance.
that just saying that using evidence over having no evidence is an argument from ignorance is not inherently always right. That's just not always right. You don't know how the context that I'm using this is not an argument from ignorance because an argument from ignorance would need my case to be because my case isn't again the negation or the assertion of something. It is just the fact of a likelihood given what we have, and because that is true, then that would not be an argument for ignorance because I'm not trying to assume something is guaranteed based on just nothing. I'm not assuming something is guaranteed based on nothing. I'm not assuming again that Akainu doesn't have conquerors. I'm just saying that with no evidence pointing towards the fact that he does, is more likely to conclude that Kaido's like in that Conqueror stat, I guess, Kaido's would be more because he just has more of a likelihood. He has 100% likelihood. Akainu has like at best 50%. That is true because we have no evidence for Akainu, meaning it'd be flip flop, but we have evidence for Kaido, meaning it's 100%. That much is true. That's not an argument from ignorance if I'm using what's pre-established in the debate. That's how debates work. That's how, especially when you look at crossverse anyway, but you don't, like a crossverse debate would never like result in somebody like trying to fucking say, right, oh, well, we don't have any evidence saying that this couldn't be true. So you can't like if I try to scale, I don't know, fucking Akainu versus some random little boy in One Piece, right? Like it will you like nobody's gonna say, well, that little boy could have like stats of like a
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
pirate.
Because yes, because that's unfounded and un like based, and you didn't even put into question like
Okay,
why
so
like
again,
yeah.
yeah, like
No,
again,
Lucas. You didn't even put into question whether like Akainu having a head like bases or not.
what do you mean?
Like genuinely, like this is just retarded.
Okay,
I'm not gonna
so
lie, like Lucas from like the data we have that has like probability to it, like probability over possibility. I'm not saying that this can't be true. I'm saying that's not what Luffy attributes him going to all out to. Like we can conclude at this point and just move on. Like
Yeah, but again, that doesn't actually give a like, if we're gonna continue on that, that doesn't give a probability increase there because
yes it okay. I already
generally,
explained.
not
Yes,
not
yes they
mentioning something, not mentioning a
no.
context that's inherent. Wait. Not mentioning another factor does not mean
That's
that it's more likely that that factor is not. All that this guarantees is that
yes.
factor Y, which is him being strong, is something that's making him do this. But does not mean that's the only factor. You can never prove any likelihood because Luffy doesn't make any implications. Like it can be if it's inclusively true that two things again like as you agreed could be the case here, then Luffy just saying one of them is making him do this would actually be right because if he needs two of them to do this, then yeah, obviously he's going to say, well, one of them is true. I'm going to do this, but it doesn't confirm or deny the impact of the second factor. And even then, we could like go into whether or not that would make sense for Luffy to say, but either way.
I already explained how this is like a how this works. I just want to move on, like assuming that like just like keep conclude this and just keep move on. We don't even need judgment. I don't think like I don't really think it matters. We can get like someone else to judge or something like if you want, or just like have anyone just watch the rec or whatever.
you probably already know my judgment. So like if it's like you want to get like another person on rec like future or something,
Wait,
that's
Gold,
fine.
Gold, what do you mean? Like, what is your judgment? Because
Like, you know, I believe because let me just illustrate like an example, right? To just kind of dismiss the whole like Kaido getting a million times stronger. Like a basis for getting stronger in One Piece is like there has to be like something like you know a comparative like strength increase from like a mental nerve to a mental like I guess stabilization like from like what happened from Enies Lobby Water 7 to Enies Lobby you know training willpower something like the fact that hockey which is like the main like capacitor for strength is like based off of willpower already kind of like sets a um kind of sets a parameter that you can't really like bypass, which is why I think that argument is like invalid because
no,
you would have to like
well, I feel like you're trying to make arguments. You're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Listen, the problem, that's why the main focus of my argument is given the fact that we just don't really have much verifiable evidence on either side, or like much theorization on either side, right? We had no theorization. We were just going off what we knew, right? Which was a 2 versus 4. That's what we know for fact, right? So, like literally under what we were at least saying and arguing for that point, the probability or any like likelihood argument for Akainu having ACOG would be the exact
Please
same
shut
as
the
a
fuck up. This is so retarded.
no, but I'm just fucking
Jiggly,
telling you.
Jiggly,
Listen,
Jiggly,
No.
it's not
Jiggly,
just
just let him
it's not
finish,
what
just
I'm
let him
saying.
finish, just let him finish, just let him finish.
Jiggly basically had no probability raiser for Akainu having ACOG. It's literally the same thing as my claim that he didn't attack in any single way. That Kaido can have be like a million fucking times stronger if he just so much as looks at Akainu. Because if you don't give any reason to make that less likely or more likely, that's not a point that should go through and be factored into the debate. I've told him this. Like obviously, like you can like assume gold. Obviously, that claim that I made, right? I understand your point if you want to, but that's independent from what Jiggly's arguing, right?
Like, no, Lucas, you don't know what I'm arguing. I'm not going. Dude, please, can we just move on past? It's like, generally, like I don't really.
No, this is a major part of the debate.
Conclude the whole debate. I think we know
We
who
don't
won.
need judgment on the spot, dude. Like everyone's saying I won, but fucking judges saying I won. Like you're really ratting on the meaning of like the most basic.
No. Let's not discuss about like the meta side of things. We can move on. Like, Lucas, if you want to get like Future to like look over these points, and if you feel like he'll have like a different assessment of them, that's fine. Like, if that does happen, then like whatever. I guess me and Future can just like discuss if like he has like an opposing viewpoint on this. But like, let's just move on. We shouldn't like meta debate or anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So you're just
Well, the
assuming
problem,
that like
okay, listen. The major problem too, especially because like so far we're like somewhat through his scale, is that it's really just devolving into the same argument.
no, it's not. It's not. I'm not done yet. You don't know what they're
No, but like
okay,
so
okay.
far, literally, it has literally been the same fucking argument. You have no like actual assertions for your thing being more likely.
Wait, no, Lucas. Yes, I do because what he said in
That,
the
how,
moment,
you can't prove that.
what yes, dude, his dialogue is a likelihood increaser. His dialogue is a likelihood increaser. Also, Lucas. So is a conditional statement. Okay, so is conditional.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you know, So him going all that is conditional upon his opponent being strong. Like if you can't track it, we can just move on.
Okay, but
We're already Lucas. We already concluded this. We already concluded. I'm ending the rec right now. If you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna be honest. Because I don't want to continue. If we're gonna just go into fucking monkey battle, we're ending this right now. Okay, we already went over this. You couldn't track for shit. You couldn't track the start. It's like genuinely a problem. Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, we're going on the assumption that Kizaru scales to Gear 5. Okay, Gear 5 is obviously way above base Luffy, right? And base Luffy is just fucking equal to Kaido.
What? What'd you say?
Base Luffy is like equal to fucking Kaido.
I'll prove that.
Yeah, sure. Where's the feet? Look. Really just split sky here. Relative AP speed and hockey output.
Prove Kaido's going a lot there.
Oh yeah, sure. He's already going out by this point. He said it's stated.
Where's this stated?
Okay. There's two statements. There's one in the manga, one out of the manga. Look at the one out of manga.
This is only my first counter, by the way.
What'd you say?
That's only my first counter, but first I want to just like see why he's going a lot.
Stated here. It's stated that here was a full force strike. This from chapter like 1009 or something.
Okay, prove that's referring to that strike over there.
Well, okay. Well, what I'm saying. Okay. Well, actually. Okay. Well, let me get the other statement too, and then we'll just use them in conjunction. Then the other statement's just here, right? It's just stated that Kaido dodges attacks that are gonna hurt him.
Okay, that can hurt suppress Kaido. I don't see why that, like, again, prove that Kaido was going on with this max throw.
Okay. So, Kaido at this point, right, isn't dodging Luffy attacks that he sees, like, here, right, at this point. He doesn't dodge this one. Shit. He doesn't dodge this one. He doesn't dodge this one. So what we see is Kaido he didn't dodge them, even though he probably knew they were going to hurt him, right? He's already been hit by Luffy. He's already been hurt by Luffy at this point, right? So, Kaido dodges hits that hurt him.
Yeah, again, this again still just refer to like suppress Kaido. Like it can hurt suppress Kaido, and
why does that matter? What do you mean? What do you mean by suppress Kaido?
Like Kaido could still not be going all here, but that could be like why he's getting hurt.
Okay, wait.
So, like, I don't.
Kaido dude, what are you saying that? What are you talking about going all out?
Like at max power, right? Like if at max power, like Kaido wouldn't even get like hurt by Luffy's punch. He could be suppressed and it can hurt him, so he would dodge it, right? Like even if he doesn't, like, are you saying that like it's in character for Kaido to like tank shit that does hurt him?
No, it's just stated that Kaido dodges things that hurt him, and since he's not like dodging these attacks at this point, and they have potential to hurt him, it means he's just like he can't dodge them.
Okay, but again, that could just be suppressed Kaido.
Okay, but it's not that it's saying he doesn't, it's saying he can't. Or that he can't.
No, okay, but no, you cannot prove based on this that at full power Kaido wouldn't be able to dodge this.
Yeah, okay.
Like, yeah,
what I'm saying is, what I'm saying,
yeah,
Lucas, what I'm saying is Kaido. Wait, Lucas.
At the suppressed level, he could be incapable of dodging that, but that would like prove that would be representative of his facts.
Yeah, okay. Wait, what do you mean at the suppressed level? Why would Kaido? Wait, when someone's holding back, no. When someone's holding back, that's not how like it works. You don't actually like. He doesn't have like actual limiters upon him, like real limiters. Those don't exist. Okay. Right? Like obviously not. Like,
what do you mean exactly?
Like people don't have actual limiters upon them when they're holding back. It's just like their own will to hold back.
Okay, I agree that even while holding back, Kaido has the potential to go all out, but that would still mean that he's still vulnerable. Like he's not as fast in his holding back state.
Okay, no. So what I'm saying is, Luffy says, "Did you dodge that because it was gonna hurt?" Huh? Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So Luffy's tying Kaido dodging attacks to them hurting him. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So since Kaido, so attacks that hurt Kaido, right? He dodges. That's what Luffy's saying.
Yeah, but again, I'm just saying that I'm not disagreeing that Kaido is gonna try and dodge attacks that hurt him. What I'm saying is that he could be suppressed, so you would just be incapable of doing it, and it wouldn't break his character, but it also wouldn't prove that it's like meaning that he can tag and hurt full power Kaido.
But can you repeat that?
Like again, like I know, like the character trait that he has, where like he dodges shit that hurts him, doesn't have to like he can still be suppressed at that point and trying to dodge it, but because he's suppressed, he just can't dodge it at full speed, and it would hurt him if it landed. That's fine. Those are mutually like inclusive.
Wait, I really wasn't paying attention. Can you repeat that one more time? That's my fault.
Okay, so it's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying that he can have the personality trait that like if something hurts him, he'll try and dodge it, but it still is like mutually inclusive of the fact that he can be suppressed and at a level where he's only not fast enough to dodge it, but it would hurt him.
Well, he still is. No, but he actually is fast enough to dodge it. That's the thing. It's not that he isn't. Like, when he's holding back, he's just letting himself, or what you think is holding back, he's just letting himself get hit.
Well, he's not trying to hard to dodge it, right?
Yeah, so he's letting himself get hit, right?
No.
Yeah, if you're not trying to dodge, you're letting yourself get hit.
No, I don't think so. Why would that be the case? I don't think he's trying not to dodge. I just don't think he's trying his hardest. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
You're still trying.
Okay.
You can try to do something, you just not do it at your hardest. That's fine. You're not letting yourself in that case because you're trying to actively resisting against the action.
Okay,
It's just the fact.
Okay. He can try to like some like 1% of his extent or whatever, if that's what you're saying, but that's like still compatible with my position, right? It's right. What it's stated is that did you try to dodge that one because it was gonna hurt, right?
Yeah.
This is a retarded argument. I'm not gonna, but still, did you dodge that one because it was gonna hurt? And
What?
Kaido, okay, Luffy ties Kaido dodging things. So Kaido, when he's fighting like Gear 4, Gear 5, like ACOG Luffy, later on, he doesn't dodge, right?
You mean like yeah, he does get hit by some attacks, so that's what you're asking.
Okay. Luffy's saying Kaido dodges because attacks are gonna hurt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Even if he's, and you think Kaido's suppressed at this point, so even if he's suppressed, he still follows through with this action.
Well, yeah, he's still going to try to, but that doesn't mean that it's like his inability to do so, and the fact that he would get hit by it would prove that would be like reflective of if he moves at like max speed or has like max power or whatever.
Okay, but what I'm saying is What I'm saying is it's probability that Kaido's just going all out, right? Because it's I don't. Yeah. What I'm saying is, it's probable that Kaido is going all out because he dodges. Fuck, I don't want to say that. That's retarded. That would be circular. Yeah, can you repeat what you just said? I'm sorry, I'm getting like distracted. I don't know why.
What did I? Wait.
Yeah, repeat what you said before. A second ago.
My whole point is that he can try and do this, but that wouldn't mean that he's trying his hardest. That wouldn't be proof that he's trying to get his fastest speed, even if he's capable of doing so, or if that like he's at his max power and durability and whatnot. It would not prove that. It would just prove that at the state that he's in, he's trying to like dodge it and whatnot, and that he thinks it can hurt him. Those can be mutually inclusive. Like yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Okay. Then I'll just give like a probability increase. Okay, I know what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. So just within context, right? Like I said before, like you already agreed, Kaido doesn't have actual limiters like on his body, right? If he tries to do something, supposedly if he's suppressed, he can do this thing.
Like yeah, but you have to you'd have to prove he's trying his hardest.
Yeah, it's just likely going to be the case because he dodges attacks that hurt.
Okay, but does he try it as hard? I don't see how that makes it more likely that he's trying it as hardest just because we know for a fact that he tries to do this. Like you can try something and not try something at your hardest. Those aren't correlated. All we know is he tries to do it, but it doesn't give any indication as to like what.
Wait, he doesn't just try; he just does.
No, he tries.
Yeah,
no,
tries.
if he does, he would. Yeah. No, doing something is when it actually occurs. Otherwise, you've never been touched by Luffy. Yeah. He tries to because he fails.
Okay.
Like sometimes.
Okay.
He doesn't.
So he just. Did you try or did you dodge that one? He said that. Did you just flat out dodge that? Right. Kaido does dodge things that will hurt him. Now he doesn't try; he just does. Okay.
Okay, so wait, so then by your logic, right? He's never been hit once.
When?
Because when you do something, it's when you've actually done it. Trying to do something is just the intent, but it's failed.
Oh no! What Jiggly's trying to
no.
say
What I'm
here?
saying is he's not trying and failing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, the problem is that. Okay, so then he's never been touched before. Because if he's not trying, if he hasn't failed, then you're basically conceding that Luffy has not once tagged Kaido.
No, what? No, how does it have to do with anything?
Because oh my goodness, trying to do something. How does trying to do something correlate to trying to your hardest? Again, you haven't done that. You just proven that the cause of something hurting him.
Yes, because no, if an attack is gonna hurt Kaido, Luffy just says Kaido does dodge it. Okay. Okay, and since he didn't, and these attacks are gonna hurt him. Since he didn't dodge it,
he doesn't even say that. He just says that you dodged that one because it was gonna hurt. Like, he's just saying that like Kaido, like all you can. It doesn't even prove. Okay, listen, that scan doesn't prove that had that character trait. You're just making an inference that he wants to do it, which I can agree with that inference at least. That it'd be like. The inference that you can take from that statement is that he wants to dodge it, so obviously he's going to try to do so if something can hurt him. Obviously, he managed to dodge it in that panel, which is why Luffy does say that like he did dodge it, not that he tried to, because otherwise he would have been hit. Because trying to do something is when you try to do it but you fail. Doing something is just succeeding, right? So he he dodges attacks. He tries to at least dodge attacks that can fail him. If he's fast enough, he will have dodged it. If he's not, he will have tried to dodge it. But this isn't correlate back to your point into proving that just because he tries to dodge it, he tries his hardest.
Okay, but you just conceded that he does try and like do this.
Yeah, no, okay, that's different from trying your hardest.
Okay, but if he's trying to, okay, wait. Yeah, that's like okay. Yeah, okay, that just goes back to the original scan. What I said before, Kaido just does this. If Kaido like, if these attacks are gonna hurt Kaido, right?
No, I get that like he has that character trait, but like, and he's probably dodged some attacks before. I'm not disagreeing that he's not dodged a single attack before, but there's like this doesn't actually prove that he's trying his hardest at this point. Just because he has that trait that he dodges shit that tries to like can hurt. I feel like we're going a little circular.
Yeah, here I'm just gonna send another scan too. That's also okay. Yeah, and then just my other thing is just it's just stated that Luffy can go truly toe to toe with him.
Yeah, I think this can be a reference to suppressed Kaido too.
Okay, obviously dialogue truly just means like the truth.
Okay, but this doesn't.
Okay, no.
I get your point. Because truly is to say that like he's actually doing it, right? But the problem is that that wouldn't change the subject. The subject couldn't be him at that state of power, and him saying truly can just mean that like Luffy is actually going toe to toe with suppressed Kaido. Like think about it like this, right? Um, he can be getting his ass beat by suppressed Kaido, and he wouldn't really be going toe to toe. But he can then start like going even with him, and he would be going toe to toe. The subject just wouldn't be full power Kaido, it would be suppressed Kaido. But just because he says truly, it doesn't like change the subject of that statement, whether it's suppressed or full power Kaido. We're just talking about like it could just be talking about like the fact that actively at that point he is
Okay, wait, but Luffy has already gone toe to toe with suppressed Kaido before.
Yeah, so he can.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
yeah. So
no. Like even like at the chat before he got ACOG, like Luffy was going like Luffy was actually kind of beating on Kaido like even before he got ACOG.
Okay, sad. That's fine. Like you can still refer to the suppressed Kaido. I don't see the problem in it.
Okay, so
like,
what I'm saying is
he's not saying that Luffy just started.
No. He is because he only does this once he said that him drinking is a sign. He's like correlating, right? The dialogue's correlating drinking the alcohol, like entering that alcohol, like those drunken states. He's correlating those things to being like truly going toe to toe with him. He's saying it's a sign I've accepted you. I wonder how long it's been. Like that's what he could correlate.
Okay,
acceptance.
Yeah, okay. That doesn't prove that he's only just because he started drinking now doesn't prove that he only started to accept Luffy now. Like,
I mean, within his
wait. How would it be a probability increaser? There's nothing in the statement that specifies the time. It's just a condition and a reaction. The condition that he's accepted Luffy is what is it? The condition that he's accepted Luffy causes the reaction of drinking, but that doesn't imply time. Like, specifically because you've only like impressed me now.
What I'm saying is, since it's happened in this moment, it's a probability increaser that it's this moment that Luffy went relative with him over the fact that it was like 20 chapters beforehand when Luffy went relative with him.
How? Because there's nothing like
because when an event happening in this moment is going to be more probable to be caused by an event in this moment than it was to be caused by 30 years ago.
Why?
Because
For example, I can have a trauma from like 30 years ago that influences my actions now.
Yeah, yes, obviously. But what I'm saying is, if you've trauma 30 years ago, right, and you have trauma right now, what's going to be more active? What's going to cause like a reaction from you more likely? Probably your current trauma because it's more proactive. Also,
I wouldn't engage it.
Also, no, listen, I'm not done. And also, your current trauma is more like it's stronger. Your current trauma was way worse than the trauma you got when you were younger. Okay.
Okay. That's fine, but at the same time, well, I mean, it obviously depends whether or not it is, but it doesn't fucking matter.
Okay, but in this scan, Luffy currently is stronger. Luffy currently scaling to Kaido is more probable. Like this Luffy being stronger is more probable. Like equal to Kaido is way more probable than the Luffy from before being equal to Kaido. You would agree to that, right?
Because he's stronger. Like that doesn't.
Obviously, no, Lucas did that, right?
Wait, that doesn't. Wait, that does not make like Luffy from before being toe to toe with Kaido less or more probable. It just doesn't. Even if we wanted to say, now it's more likely for this one to be. It doesn't like change the 50-50 from Luffy from before being more probable because Kaido doesn't have any specified time period. Luffy's being able to, and it could also be a factor of endurance, but I'll argue the other. Luffy from before being, like in 10-10, for example, being able to go toe to toe with Kaido, briefly, could be, or at least like, with his clashes and whatnot, that can be something that like resonates with Kaido and is factored into the statement. He doesn't give any time frame, so there's no way like to say that it's like this current time frame over like an older time frame would just be, like an equal interpretation. It would be an argument for anyone who's trying to assert that Kaido was specifically only referring to this time frame currently that has made him accept Luffy.
Okay, I think I already addressed like that, so
And either way, okay, fine. If you think that, either way, it could also just be an endurance thing. You can argue that Kaido just didn't think that it could have been possible that Kaido just didn't feel like Luffy was gonna go toe to toe with him if he didn't like last long enough, like in 10-10 when he did equal clash and shit, but then eventually he lost. And then now that Luffy's still able to like get back up, he does feel that like in that sense he's also going to go toe to toe with him. So now that he has like equal power and he's not giving up on all that shit, that can be like if you really wanted to argue that it's specifically to this time, it could also be because of that. Because now Luffy's had more time to prove himself, endurance wise.
I just don't think it's going to be endurance wise because within the context of getting weaker in a fight and beating the other person. But
well, yeah, I think endurance is still like a combat factor. I'm not saying it is.
Okay, but it's talking about the overall battle, not just like a specific factor.
Yeah, you know, I know. Like it's not, but that doesn't. Like, it's still inclusive, right? If it took both endurance and stats to like impress Kaido, then obviously like Kaido not nerfing himself in stats is also going to be part of that context, but it doesn't disclude the other context or make it like less probable to be like a factor in his statement. It just doesn't.
I think we can conclude.
Okay.
Oh well, that's a wrap.
Does Gold want to give immediate judgment on that? I mean, you basically give your scale, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm done.